Okay, this is my final video for Agriculture and Biosystems Engineering. I did mine on the human immune system. We're going to take a look at the structure and basic makeup of the immune system. When we look at the overall structure of the immune system, there are three main components that create the system. These are cells, tissues, and finally organs. These three components can further be broken down into smaller parts by various types of cells, tissues, etc. And the first thing we're going to look at are the various types of cells found in the immune system, and we're going to look at each of their specific job and purpose. Four main types of cells found within the immune system are B cells, T cells, phagocytes, and cytokines, and all of them, once again, have a specific purpose in the immune system. B cells, these are one of two lymphocytes found within the human body. Their main job is to create the plasma and antibodies to keep the body healthy and in working order. Each B cell has a specific antibody that they are supposed to produce, and the way it all works is the B cells create the plasma, and once the plasma cells are produced when they become active, these plasma cells then produce the antibodies to fight off infections. And here is a picture of a type of antibody. This is a structure of the immunoglobulin antibody. Next type of cells are T cells. This is the other type of lymphocyte found within the human body. They contain antibody receptors, and there are two types of T cells. One of them are known as helper T cells, and these are regulators to immune responses. And then there are killer T cells, also known as cytotoxic T lymphocytes, and these are the cells that actually go in and attack infections. And on the next slide, we're going to have pictures of different types of T cells. This is an immature one, and this is one of the helper cells. And then here's the attacking T cell, also a cytotoxic T cell. The third type of cell found within the human body are known as phagocytes, and these ones connect, swallow, and digest foreign substances. Phagocytes are produced within the bone marrow, and they're also called big eaters or macrophages. These are commonly found within the lungs, lymph nodes, liver, basically anywhere where foreign substances find their way in. And here's a nice picture of a phagocyte. The orange is the actual cell, and it is attacking the blue cylinders are the bacteria. Just thought this was a really good picture. And the final main type of cell found within the human body are cytokines, and these are the communication cells of the immune system. These coordinate responses between all the other cells, and they do one of two things. Some of them act as on-off switches in the body, and then some of them act as production triggers. They'll tell the body that they need to produce more of a certain cell or antibody. Now we're going to move on to the second component of the immune system, and these are the tissues. The main type of tissue found within the immune system is lymphoid tissues. They're composed of lymphocytes, and they're found throughout the body, mainly in areas where, kind of like the phagocytes are, they're found in areas that foreign substances can find their way in a lot easier, like the throat, nasal cavity. And going on to organs, the spleen is actually made up of mainly lymphoid tissues. Brings us to the last component, which are organs, and really one of the main organs found within the body that its main job is within the immune system are the spleen, areas of spleen. Like I stated on the last slide, the spleen is a lymphoid organ, which means it's composed primarily of lymphoid tissues. Main job of the spleen it has two jobs. One is to fight infections, and the second one is to keep our body fluids in balance. The spleen has white blood cells that take on the job of fighting off the infections, and it also helps the human body destroy damaged and older cells. While our immune system is built to fight off these infections, there are two main ways that we can build immunities to bacteria and infections. One is a natural, and we gain these immunities. One example is when people were infected with the plague, and they managed to recover from it. They had become immune to the bacteria. They had gained a natural immunity to the Black Plague, and it produced some of the cells within the immune system turned into memory cells, and they were ready to destroy the bacteria if it ever came back into the body. The next one is acquired immunities, and these are gained mainly in one of two ways, either by a serum or a vaccine. Now the difference, they do the same thing, but there's two differences. One is the lifespan. A serum is more for travel purposes, like if you're going to another country, they'll give you a serum. And what it is it's basically just a high amount of antibodies to a specific disease or infection like malaria. And vaccine is high concentrates of microorganisms of the bacteria. They inject in your body, and your body is able to slowly fight off the infection, so it'll create those almost like a natural immunity. It's a permanent effect, and it'll be ready with those memory cells to fight off infections if they ever do come back into the body. Now, while we do have these immunities and all these cells to help us fight off infections, the immune system does have its weaknesses. There are three types of diseases and disorders. They are the autoimmune diseases, the immune complex diseases, and the immune deficiency disorders. First one we're going to look more in depth into is the autoimmune diseases. What this basically is the inability for the body to recognize its own cells. And the way it works is the body will begin to create those killer T cells and antibodies, and it'll direct them to attack healthy cells within the body. Two common forms of autoimmune diseases are rheumatoid arthritis and multiple sclerosis. And now we're going to go on to the second one, which are immune complex diseases. This is caused by antigens and antibodies clustering and compacting together, and normally when this would happen, a healthy body would be able to swiftly remove these clustered antibodies and antigens. But if they do become lodged in the kidneys, lungs, joints, can really cause some problems. They cause inflammation and sometimes severe tissue damage, and these go hand in hand with diseases like hepatitis and malaria. And the final type of immune disorder is by far one of the worst. It is immune deficiency disorders, and basically your body is just lacking a key component in fighting off diseases and infections. There we go. These are caused by side effects of drugs. They could be inherited through birth from your parents, and sometimes they can just be caused after normal infections. Commonly, they follow normal infections like the flu or mononucleosis, and the most common type of immune deficiency disorder is AIDS, and everyone knows how bad AIDS is affecting the world, and it's caused by the HIV virus. And once a human gets AIDS from HIV, they usually fall victim to rare and unusual cancers and infections, and they'll end up dying because their body won't be able to fight off the infection. And here is a diagram of a AIDS cell, and as you can see, it's a normal T cell, and the AIDS virus had infected it, and it starts producing more, and they just branch off like this new AIDS virus. Just really bad. And summary. Okay, so the composition of the human immune system is cells, tissues, and organs. You have the B cells, T cells, phagocytes, all those. There's only the one main tissue, the lymphatic tissue, and then the spleen is the main organ. There are two ways that the body can become immune to various bacteria, infections, etc., and these are natural and acquired. And like we said, acquired, there's serums and then vaccines. And then disorders and diseases, there are the autoimmune diseases, like multiple sclerosis and rheumatoid arthritis, the immune complex diseases, commonly found with malaria and hepatitis, and then, like I said earlier, by far the worst type of disorder or disease that can affect the human body is immune deficiency disorder, and things like AIDS, like, really tear apart the body. But really hope you enjoyed the video. Hope you learned something about the human immune system.